your perfect utopia? I love questions like this. If you were to build your perfect utopia world, what would be like your foundation? What would be your rules in your perfect world?
You can't ask me the same question back.
No, I'm not. No. I'm trying to think of this and like, I mean, like my initial response is like I can't even really wrap my head around that, but I don't want to use that as like a cop out answer. First off, I will get rid of Macklemore's entire discography.
Oh, that's the clickbait right there. We good. We good. You can wrap it up.
Perfect utopia. I mean, dude, that's so hard. It's so hard to just, and I don't know how politicians even try to do it, but like wrap your head around getting a giant group of people under one concept, one law, one government, whether that's like on a state, local, or federal level. I think it's such a crazy concept to get a big group of people to agree on a single thing. Now, like, I'm not saying like, I'm saying on a larger scale, like city, town, like tribes and stuff are easier to kind of like small groups like that. But once you start incorporating small groups and larger groups, that's a really hard thing to wrap your mind around because you have to think about every single angle. And that's kind of like how I approach it in general. So like what might be good for one might not be good for all.
You can't make everybody happy.
That's the thing. And because of that, like for me, it's hard to wrap my mind around that. I could think of like what I want to do on like a smaller scale. Can I dial it back a little bit? Yeah. So like for instance, like with what Marie and I are doing, Good Soup. On the surface, like what we're doing now is video production. But eventually what I'd like, and I don't know what the specific goal is, but I know what the purpose is. I want to be able to influence culture. I want to be able to prop up the right people. Like I don't necessarily want it all to be the same run through the filter of Jay and Marie, but I want us to be like a conduit for like really talented people, really talented screenwriters, really talented just anybody, and just kind of have them under the banner and just allow them. And maybe that's my utopia, like just allowing people to express their creativity. And like I don't want to sell it like we're open to everybody. You have to be good. That's what I want Good Soup to be. You have to be good to be part of Good Soup.
There's a quality requirement for entry.
But there's no specific content requirements. Like we don't need you to be a mouthpiece for our political views. We don't need you to be a particular genre of a production, whether like I said, I mentioned to you earlier, like I like documentaries and I like nonfiction, and Marie, she wants to do more music videos and film. So like we have a similar interest of just like producing things, but even just within ourselves, we have like different visions of like where we want to take it. And I want to be like the place that happens.
So basically like do whatever you want to do, just be good at it.
And it has to be good enough to dictate and influence culture.
I respect that.
Like I don't want to just be
Good Soup is for the culture.
I'd like to very much think so. I want us to be. I mean, even just Marie and us, like Marie and myself, we're an international team. Like
put my pinky out for that one.
Thank you. And just like our different perspectives kind of really shape this into what it is now and what it's becoming. So that's, to answer your question, like I cannot fix the world.
I feel like that's what some of the presidents should say.
Yeah, I can't really
but then
this,
you really won't vote for them. You know what I mean? Like
honesty gets you pretty far, we have seen.
You know, I can't fix the world, but I can make some good stuff for it to enjoy.
I can't fix the world, but I can make it fun for while I'm here. For these next 4 years, hopefully. It's 8 years, not 4. For these next 8 years, hopefully. You're going for 2 terms when we run for president.
Gotcha. No.
So, Good Soup for president.
So what about you? How would you build your perfect union? You told me I can't even ask you that.
Yeah, look.
That's one of my rules. When you play the question game, you can't ask the same question back. You gotta ask me a better question.
Okay, so I mean, I could just It's technically a different question, but it's the question I kind of answered. Like, where do you see Red Spade music? Where do you see it going? What do you see it being? Like, is it just music production? Like,
So I see Red Spade music becoming an umbrella, and I truly mean this when I say this. I see it becoming a safe haven for creatives, because I see how backstabbing, I see how manipulative, and how just backwards a lot of things can be in the realm of creativity. So to be able to, if anything, guide and direct upcoming creatives and established creatives in the right direction safely, that's definitely something that I want to do personally with my brand. With Red Spade Music in general, like, we definitely want to get more into films. We want to get more into video games, commercials. Like, we want to touch everything, because we can touch everything. We have the minds for it. We have the collective minds for it. I definitely, I want it to be able, I want the brand to be able to see the world, and I want the world to be able to see the brand. But I want to do it in a way where I can influence in a positive manner, I can change in a positive manner, and sometimes that takes power, but I like Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. So I've always thought about those types of things, and I want to be one of those people that can, like, make a decision. Like, I'm big on control. I'm big on control when it comes to creative control and decision making. So I just like to have my hands in as many things as possible, just to have the knowledge. Like, I don't have to be in control of it, but if I have the knowledge of it, if I have to step over there, I can. That doesn't necessarily mean I want to, but I want to be able to move in any room that you put me in. And like, that's kind of like where I see it going.
I like how you touched on. I'm just paraphrasing here, like the wrong things that you see happen in like your industry, and you, at least compared to me, like, you've been in the industry way longer than I have, or just any type of entertainment or any type of production. And like, that's a good point that you bring up, like the wrong stuff that you see and how you want to like try to like either correct it or steer away from that. And like with Marie and I, like, we work with different people, and like, we're people ourselves. Like, we do a post-mortem, like, what happened here? That was messed up. Why did that go that way? Right. And it's really easy to, like, me personally, I find it like really easy to pick the things that were wrong. Mm-hmm. But what I try to do, like, even within the conversation, like, okay, we said all this, now I have to remember this for myself. Because, like, let's say it's someone you're working for, like, on a project, and you don't agree on, like, how they handle things. Like, real easy to complain about it, but it's just like, okay, well, I need to now make sure that when I put myself in that position, I just said I want to be able to dictate culture and influence culture. Yeah. I can't do it being a you know? I can't, like, I have to learn how to, like, let go of my ego, which it's a process.
Have you noticed that pursuing your goals and your creative aspirations makes you a better person in general? Because of how you have to step out of your comfort zones to make yourself better, in a sense?
I think for me personally, it's like, yeah, stepping out of your comfort zone, like speaking with people. Mm-hmm. Like, on my day-to-day, I keep going back to I'm a cable guy. And like, I would always worry about like it becoming like, because I spend all day talking to people. Right. And now I'm trying to get into interviewing, and I would always think like, oh, I don't want to like get tired of talking to people, because now I'm talking to twice as many people. But what I found is like, it makes, I don't want to say dealing with customers as a negative thing, but like me dealing with the feelings of like having conversations with people I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I'll even try to like take the things I learned from interviewing, like shutting up and listening.
Right.
And it makes the day go by a little bit easier, and that's because of like what we do on the outside. Like, I talk to people who do more important things. We've spoken to people who've done more important things than, you know, like we've spoken to people who have been in like crazier positions. Like, it's not hard to talk to a normal person that's just right there. Like, you're in their home, like they're probably nervous you're in there. So, you know, it's made that easier. And I think, like, in my professional life, I was getting like real sick and tired of it, like talking with people. And I found, like, in more recent months, it's become a lot easier because of what we're doing here.
That's what's up.
So I hope that, like, answered your question.
It does. It does. Because, like, I feel like we all have certain things that get highlighted once we start the journey, and then it's up to us to overcome that so that we can keep moving forward. Because, like, I think for me, my biggest thing was, like, I don't know if I come across as it, but I can be a smart ass sometimes. I can say things out of temperament that could offend people. So, and sometimes it's innocent. Sometimes it's like a snap. Like, that's my initial reaction. When it's out of innocence, it's just me, like, seeking knowledge, and I ask a lot of questions. Maybe I ask the questions at the wrong time. So me navigating professionally how to ask questions at the right time, how to maintain my temperament and have that calm foundation, and, like, literally approach everything from the heart. It helps me in my regular life with the people that are close to me, so I don't hurt their feelings. So I can, instead of, like, raising my voice, I can just, it's you and me versus the problem instead of me versus you type of situation.
I'm bringing out the rest, I'm going behind the chain cost. Cool. I bought 5 hotel rooms, put my clothes up from the mall. Niggas turn around.